it's me, Danielle, Danny Buttons. And I'm here today to do the coloring scare tag. I'm excited and nervous, and I have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. First of all, this tag was created by Emma Colors 2020 and Colorfully Optimistic. I will have them tagged down below, as well as Elm Colors. Oh my goodness, Erica, is that your full channel name? I'll have her tagged down below too. She tagged me. So she told me on Instagram she tagged me, and I decided I did not want to be influenced, so I actually haven't watched any videos of this tag yet, and I just opened a description to find the the questions. So I didn't want to get influenced because I'm very easily influenced. So this was really, really hard for me. And Erica was like, I know you're a self-proclaimed chicken, so hopefully this is okay to tag you in. And I'm very excited. Let's take a breath, friends. These questions were very hard. Luckily, I wrote all my answers down beforehand, because if I had to think on the spot, I don't know if I would have come up with stuff. So that is that. Secondly, I'm going to be coloring out of 50 Halloween Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. This book is brand new. I already did a flip on my channel. I think it should be the last video. I don't know, but I didn't put this as one of the options for my October buddy color because I didn't want to just do miniature books every single month. But if you do have this and want to color with me, feel free to do that. I also asked Sam what page we should color, and he picked this random one. This is a sort of long tag, especially because I very much just keep chatting. So I might finish this and need to keep going, and if I do, I'm just going to do the intro page. So Sam picked this one. He said this was like, he just really likes this guy, so I was like, okie dokie. So that is what we're gonna do. I have the questions on my computer in front of me and like the short versions of my answers next to me, and hopefully that is all the intro I need to do. Feels a little discombobulated, but we'll get into the swing of things. I also wanted to say, it seems that you guys really do want a part 2 of my watercoloring, so that will be my next video in 2 days. Great. All that out of the way. Let's pick a color or two and then get started, right? I don't have a plan. I have my Towtree markers. I always use my Towtree markers as my base for these pictures, and then I color over it in glitter, etc. So we will just see. I'm just going to do the moon in a light yellow and go from there. Question number 1. Okay. What weapon would you choose if you were living in The Walking Dead? So I have never seen The Walking Dead because, as you're going to hear over and over again, I am not a spooky girl. But I know it is zombies, correct? So the answer I wrote down is that I would just die. If I was in a zombie apocalypse, I don't think I would fight it out. And I think I would just give up pretty quick. So I guess if I have to pick something, I would say that noodles would be my weapon. And I would just die. I would give in. I would get bit and get it over with. Probably. That's my guess. Especially like if I knew somebody who is already a zombie. Again, I've never seen the show, so this might not be how this works, but any zombie mythology that I've heard, that does seem to be how it works. So, yeah. No. I would just give it up. Maybe a bat until I got. I don't know. My instincts right now is that I would not have any instincts, but maybe I'd be able to fight it out. I don't know. So, no weapon, just death. Number 2, if you were paid to stay the night in a haunted house, would you, and how much would they have to give you? Like, how much money would they have to pay you? All right, so if I was alone, I just flat out wouldn't. There is no amount that you could pay me to stay anywhere alone, because, like, I don't even stay in my own home alone. I would never stay somewhere else. Like, it could even just be, like, a nice somewhere else, and I wouldn't do it alone. So, but if I was with people, it would have to be at least like $10,000, right? That's what I'm thinking. The more money, the more likely. But I feel like if it was a group of people, I would need less money overall. And like, do I have to sit in the dark? Or can I just like live there as if I was normal? Because like I sleep with lights on and such like that. I sleep with all my doors locked. So how many of my normal safety precautions could I put? But I would say at least $10,000. Originally, I was going to say $100,000, but I didn't think that was very reasonable. So at least $10,000, and that's only if I was with people. If I was not with people and I was alone, I don't think I would ever do it. Maybe if it was over $1 million, but I don't think anyone would actually pay me that. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a spooky girl. You'll hear. I was going to explain more right now, but I think a lot of the questions will be explanations in themselves. So I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves. We have 20 questions total, and that was only number 2. So let's keep going. Question number 3 is, what superstitions or urban legends do you believe? This one was hard too, because my answer is kind of like everything and nothing at the same time, which you're probably like, what? But overall, if I like think of something, I believe in it. So I will avoid ladders, and I'll avoid umbrellas inside. And I don't particularly like it when black cats cross my path, things like that. But if it happens and I don't notice, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not always thinking about it. I don't know if any of this makes sense. So it's like everything and nothing. I'm not extra spooked on certain days. I don't make sense as someone who's scared. And I was talking about this with friends recently. We were actually playing this game called Your Worst Nightmare. I think I talked about it in a video, but I'll talk about it again in case you're just seeing this video. But it was basically like list your fears, and you had to like rank them. And I'm not really afraid of supernatural stuff. I'm just very afraid of human people. So like superstitions and urban legends, I don't necessarily believe in that kind of thing, but I do believe that there are bad people. So we'll talk more about this later too. Number 4 is, which horror movie did you not get over? I don't really watch many horror movies because I'm a chicken, and it's so funny, and this is another question later too. Man, these questions, you guys did such a good job putting them together that I don't want to like spoil anything by getting too chatty in the beginning. So a lot of these questions flow perfectly together. So there will be more in-depth answers later. But what I ended up putting down was Nightmare on Elm Street, because I hate the idea that there's like not even sleep is an escape. Because as someone with anxiety, if I'm getting super anxious, a lot of the times what I just do is go to sleep. And that kind of like gets me over it. So like I'm really nervous in the car. So I'm almost always sleeping in the car, because then I just can't think about it anymore. So the idea that like there could be someone controlling my sleep also freaks me out pretty good. So I would say The Nightmare on Elm Street. But I also would say I don't have too much experience, because I'm really good. Like if I see an image, I'll remember it forever. And like if I read something, I can get over it. I guess I don't visualize in my head as hard as actual seeing something. So I'm not the best at scary movies. So, all right. Number 5. What is your favorite scary and or Halloween coloring book? I had this out. I think it quickly became Jade Summer's Cute and Spooky coloring book. I don't know what it is about this, but it's just so fun. I just love the art style so much that it is my favorite. And I've only done 3 pages so far. I have plans for at least 2 more pages this month out of there. So I definitely will be getting more done, and I love it. So there is that. In the past, I feel like I mostly have color by number books, which of course I absolutely love color by number, but I've said this before in other tag videos. I don't always think of color by number books as like my all-time favorites. And I don't know why that is. Like, if they're my favorite books to color in, I don't know why I don't consider them just like favorites overall, but that tends to be what happens. So I always pick, when it comes to favorite books, books that are not color by number. Oh, now I started this area, so I have to focus on this. I'm sorry. I can do just on top of the smile here. I'm getting all over the lines, if you can see that. I don't know how easy it is to tell on camera, but I always fix it up at the end with glitter or white gel pen or things like that. Okay, number 6. What is the scariest book you've ever read? All right, so here we go. I read a lot of messed up stuff. I read basically what I call my murder books, a lot of mystery thrillers, yeah, just some messed up stuff. I also just like cozier mysteries that are not as traumatizing, so I do that too. I'll read like a lot of Agatha Christie and some actual cozy mysteries, the Hannah Swenson series and things like that. So this one was hard, but what came to mind, or what I wrote down, I kind of went through my Goodreads and looked back at books. So what I ended up writing down was the book Baby Teeth by Zoe Stage. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it was basically about this woman having to deal with her child essentially being evil. So I'm not gonna, these might be spoilers. I can't tell, because I read it so long ago. It's so hard to know like what's a spoiler and what's on the back of the book kind of thing. But basically this woman was dealing with her daughter plotting against her and nobody believing her, because they were kind of like, obviously this child can't be doing all of this. So it was really scary, because I think it was scary, the idea that she was kind of like stuck at home with her daughter, of course, and couldn't do anything to stop her. And that nobody was believing her is really scary. And it was just like the daughter ended up like, this is a spoiler, but like putting thumbtacks all over the ground. So when the mom like jumped up, she got thumbtacks all in her foot and then like was incapacitated and having to do, it was just really, I didn't like it, and it was spooky and terrifying, and creepy kids creep me out a lot. So there is the gist of that. But I do tend to read some scarier books, which always surprises people since I am a chicken. So let's pick our next color before we move on. 48. Number 7. If you could be a scary monster, which one would you be? I think I would just be a ghost. And I don't particularly believe in ghosts, but I think I would be one, because I would kind of be able to go unnoticed and like creep around real easy. And ghosts innately don't really like hurt people. So I could just kind of jump scare people. Like I absolutely love torturing Sam by jump scaring him all the time, which is terrible, because as somebody who is super afraid of everything, you would think I would be nicer, but I am not. So I think a ghost would be the type of monster I would like to be. And there's another question later, which we'll talk about. So we lead into every question perfectly. So let me finish coloring. Sorry. I just don't want too many lines in my everything. Okay, what number am I up to? Oh, number 8. What is the scariest place you have ever been? So luckily, I am not often in scary places either, because again, I think you're getting the gist that I'm afraid. So I don't want to be in scary places. So I would have to say one year I did actually get convinced to do a haunted day. So we did a haunted hayride, haunted house, and haunted corn maze all in one day. And I would say that the corn maze is the scariest experience that I have ever had, because like there were just actors chasing us and you couldn't see where you were going, and you can kind of hear other people screaming off in the distance. So I would have to say that corn maze was the scariest experience that I've ever had. Then number 9 is, Are you scared of the dark? And if so, what scares you most about it? So I'm sure you know, of course I'm afraid of the dark. That seems obvious. What scares me about the dark is like the unknown, that who knows what is out there in the dark. I'm terrified, even in my house, that like people can see in and I can't see out. I just don't like that in general. Even like we went to a corn maze and we were waiting for our friends, and like we were in the parking lot and got there and we were standing and waiting, and we knew they were there in the parking lot somewhere, but we didn't know where. And it just like terrifies me, the idea that like someone can see you but you can't see them. I don't love it. Also, Noodles is on the move, and when I'm talking about scary things, it is scaring me right now. Let's see if she bursts in here. No, doesn't seem like it. Okay, I was like, oh no, Noodles, please don't add to my terror. Also, I'm realizing I didn't color the back of this, so good catch. But yeah, I just don't like the dark because it's kind of like, who knows what's out there. So, not a fan. And next is, do you go to the toilet with the lights on or off after a scary movie? And if you have a closet, would you need to have the door fully closed to sleep? So I go to the toilet with the lights on always, scary movie or not. Because again, I don't really watch scary movies, but I don't like to move around in the dark. So that always surprises me about people that keep lights off. In fact, I have smart light bulbs in my living room that will turn on with the Alexa. I don't want to wake her up, so hopefully you heard me, but she did not. And that way, if I ever need to like leave my room at night, I'll just tell her to turn the living room lights on, and I don't even have to walk anywhere in the dark. So yes, again, and I'm not afraid of the dark for like spooky reasons. Like I'm not afraid of like demons being out there. I'm afraid of humans. I just want to keep that in mind. So next. Oh, and the closet. Do you have to keep the closet closed? I used to, but for some reason in our room, we actually have 2 closets, and they're both like double door closets that open towards you, and they're not very deep. So I don't know if that's what helps, but basically like mine is on the left and Sam's is on the right, and his closet is probably open 50% of the time, and it drives me crazy, but it doesn't scare me. So for some reason, I can sleep with that closet door open. If I'm ever somewhere else, I like to keep the closet door closed, and I don't know if it's just because like deeper closets I'd want to keep closed or what, but yes, I do. In my house, I'm okay with the closet. Anywhere else, I want it closed. Number 11, do you prefer to watch scary movies with others or alone? So again, I don't prefer to watch them at all. If I am forced to watch them, it is with others. And a tip, if you are someone who is afraid like me, my biggest tip is I will go on either like Wikipedia or IMDb or something like that, and I will read the entire plot of the movie I'm about to watch. And then it gives you a good idea of when any jump scares are going to happen or things like that. So that's kind of how I get around that, is by reading the whole plot. But usually I just get out of watching scary movies because most movies will have elements that scare me. So why put yourself through that? Number 12, do you want to be a vampire, zombie, or werewolf? Okay, I read this question and my first thought was vampire. I don't know why. My second thought was if I could be a werewolf and therefore communicate with Noodles, I would pick werewolf. But if I couldn't communicate with Noodles and I'm just like stuck as a werewolf, I think vampire. I don't know why. I was a vampire once for Halloween like 12 years ago, and maybe that's why my mind is going there. I don't know. But that is where it went. Straight to vampire. I don't know. I don't like zombies. Like, I don't think I'd want to be a zombie if I got to pick. Werewolf, it seems like traumatizing, the switch. Like, I always wonder, do you like switch and lose all those clothes you're wearing every month? Is it just the once a month? Because then maybe werewolf is more appealing. It's hard to tell. But yeah, my gut instinct says vampire, and that's all I know about it. Number 13 is, would you participate in a zombie run, which in parentheses says is a city event like a haunted fun run? And if so, would you be the zombie or the runner? So I would have to be the zombie. And that is in part because I am not fast. Like, I don't run if I can avoid it. I don't know what it is. I've never been fast in my life. And I think in part I used to get made fun of back in grade school because whenever I would run, I would kind of like flip my head back and forth, like with the momentum. I would just like, I'm doing it, but you can't see. So my head would be like, do, 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 as I was running, and I would get made fun of. So that wasn't the best. It wasn't like, oh no, scarring, but maybe it was since I don't run anymore. So I would have to be the zombie so that I can just like creepily like peek out at places and scare the other runners. But I would not really choose to ever run. So I don't know. But I think it'd be fun to scare other people because, again, I'm not very nice about that. Still love to scare Sam. Do you prefer gory, creepy, or cute and spooky? So pretty sure we can guess by now that I'm a cute and spooky girl. I much prefer cute and spooky, and I think I will always prefer cute and spooky. When it comes to gore, I like can't see it. Somebody asked the other day how I did with like blood. So in person, I don't want to say I can handle it, but I don't like seeing, so I could like watch somebody do surgery if I needed to, but I don't like the initial incision. So once everything's open, I'd be fine. Or like I've given blood multiple times and I don't mind giving blood and I can like watch the blood coming out, but I don't like watching the needle go in. So like once the needle's in, I'm good to go. So again, what this says about me, I have no idea, but those are the things. So overall, I am a cute and spooky person. Like, this is super cute. I love the jack-o'-lantern motifs. I don't know what I was talking about that I would finish this page. I might not even finish this page, but we're going to keep chugging away at it. Okay. I keep getting lost on the numbers because I just have the whole list in front of me. So I apologize. Number 15 is, what scares you most about being home alone? Oh, I like other people. I don't know. I'm just afraid people are going to break in and steal me and Noodles. Noodles and I are pretty terrible because we kind of like anxiety spiral off of each other, and it's not the best. So the one thing she has going for her, of course, is that she is a loud lady. So if somebody was like trying something and they heard her, I'm sure they would stop trying. But the problem is sometimes she just like barks a lot at squirrels or at the mail lady and stuff like that, which just gets me really on edge. And then I'm like trying to look out the window, and then she is like, oh no, you're on edge, let me be on edge. And then we're just on edge. So I don't know. I don't like being alone ever. And I hate quiet. So if I am ever home alone, I always have something on. So either YouTube or the television or the radio or something. No silence for me. So next up is, would you rather walk through a cornfield or a forest in the dark? Also, I'm just realizing I'm not really referencing my answers, so hopefully my answers are the same. I think they are the same. Yeah, I wrote down all of it for being home alone, stranger danger. Okay. I think it's helping me that I had the answers and I don't necessarily need to read them. I'm just like remembering what I already said. So would I rather walk through a cornfield or forest in the dark? For some reason, I wrote cornfield. You're probably like, you said that was the scariest you've ever felt, and you're right. But I think the reason I wrote cornfield is the idea that, like, in the forest, I'm assuming it would be darker, because in the cornfield, you should still be able to see, like, the moon above you. And also, in the cornfield, you are more covered from other people seeing you because it's harder to see through the cornfield. And in like the forest, it could be much more open. And on one hand, you're like, okay, well then you could see around and like stay hidden or whatever. But on the other hand, I would rather, like, if I'm gonna get caught, I just want to get caught and get it over with. I don't want to have to run for my life. Also, I'm off to the side looking at my colors, so I apologize. But that's pretty much my common theme is like, if it's gonna get me, just let it have me right away. I don't need the chase. I don't need to survive it. Just take me right away. Thank you very much. Then what do we got next? Ooh, this one I thought about for a long time, and this was really hard. So if you could make a magic potion, what would it do and what ingredients would it take to make? So I was thinking what I would want to do, and I decided invisibility, going along with my theme of being able to sneak around and not be seen and kind of spy on people, if I'm being honest here. Let me just pick a color. I'm so sorry. I'm going to pick just a light green, maybe, and do his clothes. I got to keep it moving. But yes, okay. So I would want to be able to be invisible. That is what I would want my potion to do. And I was thinking, how would I make an invisibility potion? Samuel and I were like legitimately looking things up. We couldn't figure out what liquid would actually bring it all together. So we decided that fairies are frequently invisible. So I would need fairy dust. And I thought that smoke is very secretive, so I would need some smoke, and I wrote incense smoke, so in theory it would be a fun scent or flavor, I guess. And then for whatever reason, the first thing I thought of was dandelion puffs, and I thought that would just help me be invisible. So my formula is not complete yet. I have to still figure out what liquid would bring it all together. But that is the basis, the idea, the starting block of my invisibility potion. So I guess in theory, if I could like bottle the smoke, maybe I can just ingest that. But so fairy dust, incense powder, and dandelion puffs. I don't know what else yet, but that's the start. Then number 18 is, what is your favorite Halloween costume? And I don't know. I love Halloween and dress up every single year, so I had a lot to choose from. And because of that, I don't know. I wrote down, actually, that this year's costume is gearing up to be my favorite, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's going to be exciting, and you will find out soon. And I think you will all love it as much as I love it. So, there's the hint for that. But until then, I wrote down my skeleton costume. A few years back, Samuel and I were skeletons, and I just bought us both like black sweatshirts and sweatpants, and then I actually painted the bones on them. And then we attempted abysmally to paint our faces. That didn't really work out for the best, but we tried. And that was a fun one, and that was one of my spookier costumes. I used to try to do like, one year I would do creepy, then the next year I would do cute, and back and forth. But I don't really have good ideas for creepy costumes, so I just keep being cute costumes over and over again. So, yes. Probably that skeleton, but probably this year's, which you will see why soon. I hope. Well, I know you will see soon, so definitely by the end of the month, you will see what this year's costume is. And 19 is, who would you rather have as a friend? Michael Myers, Pennywise, Alien, Predator, or Freddy Krueger, and why? So I picked Freddy Krueger, because if you remember earlier, I answered that Nightmare on Elm Street was the scariest to me. So I figure if we're friends, then maybe he would not prey upon me. And I thought that would be useful. So that is why I picked him. So hopefully he will not be visiting my dreams and I don't have to worry about it. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I've never seen, no, I've seen at least one Halloween movie with Mike Myers. I have never seen any It movies or any of the Alien movies. So I don't know who the rest of them are besides like what I've seen in pop culture references. So I just think that old Freddy terrifies me the most. So it makes sense to befriend him. And yes, right? I think that makes sense. You let me know if you think that makes sense. And then finally, the last question is tag 3 people to participate. So again, I didn't watch any of these tags, so hopefully these people weren't already tagged. If you were, I apologize, but I didn't want to be influenced. So I'm tagging Emily at Color Me Impressed because she just came back to her channel and I want to give her even more ammunition to continue making content. I'm tagging Samantha Oswald, and I'm tagging Meg from Meg's Art Atrium. So that's it for my tags. And that was all 20 questions. So I hope you enjoyed. As you can see, I did not even finish my page. And I'm pretty close, I guess, but maybe not. I don't know. And we're at basically 30 minutes. So that worked out really nicely overall. I think what I'm going to do is put you on fast forward and finish this page and then outro this video. So I will be right back. All done. So, yes, again, thank you so much, Erica, for tagging me. And make sure you check out everybody. That will be linked down below. And here's my finished page. I feel like, I don't know what happened with the colors. I just kind of was talking and picking at the same time. But I think it's super cute. And I basically glittered the whole thing up. And I'm so happy to have my first page done in here. I'm going to have to show Sam and see what he thinks about it, since he did pick. But that is it. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, what can we say? I guess we could say scarecrow. Makes sense to me. So, thumbs up this video. Comment anything you want to comment down below, including the word scarecrow. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm a fun time, and I'll be back again in 2 days with something different. Bye, friends.